easily would have taken down all the keeps, even if no team fight would have been won. And KT goes for another map, and they choose Tomb of the Sparrow Queen. Guess what? That could be a hammer map.
It could be a hammer map if they wanted to. It's a little bit harder because it's much easier to rotate on this map, so I personally not be too keen on it. But this is where KT have taken games before. Even before this current roster, this is the very first game we cast KT on, and they won. That is, there you go. That's some Heroes history for you.
All right.
They were against Sunny Line. It was the two new teams against each other.
Yeah, very true. Sunny Line, good times. I think I saw a Sunny Line spray a little bit earlier, so...
So did I.
Never forget. and we didn't buy the HGC cheer emotes and the banners. We're not going to see this beautiful logo. I think it was actually the most beautiful logo in China that we've had so far.
Agreed. It's a gorgeous logo, but not happening this time as we see Blaze and Deckard coming in very quickly. Support priorities.
Okay, and at this point, I think CE is going to shiver and, you know, shake a little bit, because guess what? If you see that Deckard early on, what could follow? Maybe Sergeant Hammer?
Again, it's the map. I have so many concerns because it's so easy to rotate on this map compared to the others in terms of being able to rotate and gag. It's so fast, so Hammer's always going to be in danger anytime she pushes up. I'm feeling more Phoenix again. Slow cubes, good cubes, and also oil. Just all the things.
Absolutely true. I agree. So unless CE picks it away, they could certainly pick the Phoenix themselves. They could also refer to, you know, banning it. They could definitely make that happen as well. Either way, they're going to have to stop Hope some way, somehow. It's easier said than done, though. Because, there we go. They steal it away, and they once again rely on the Garrosh.
The Garrosh with Phoenix on the board already is pretty nice for them. They can, like I said, deny it away from the other team. They could use a couple of slows of their own. Garrosh, I believe, his Groundbreaker slows when you fully stack it. So that will be pretty nice. So they already have one. Johanna being banned out as they already have Garrosh on their own side. Very sensible. Giving Muradin over, but Phoenix is a little bit safer against Muradin than, say, Jaina was, which is what we saw last game.
Yeah. I just love where this series has taken us, Tetra. Like, we're starting off with the Sergeant Hammer, and now the timeless Johanna has become so scary and so solid that enemies are banning it against him. I mean, finally we have a rough impression of what Timeless is capable of, right? We always said he was a genius in disguise with RPGs sometimes, you know, going for those wonderful plays, but sometimes going for absolutely bonkers plays. But with KT at his side, you can really see in the webcam like how vocal he is right now. He's really taken the lead. He's trying to lead his men into battle, and this is the strongest Timeless NKT I've ever looked, so maybe it's a match made in heaven. Who knows?
Well, I will say his tank play is definitely the best play I've seen from him, because he has made a couple mistakes on other roles. I still have slight issues with his Garrosh. He should be onto Muradin now. There it is, which I also thought was pretty reasonable. And Jaina coming out here, stealing away the Zhu hero from last game.
All right, Jaina. They basically take her away on the one side to basically deny even more slowers and movement slowing effects for the Phoenix salvo. On the other hand, they're also adding some nice wave clear that they need, because wave clear is of the essence, right? Wave clear is so important on Tomb of the Sparrow Queen.
Yeah. And
I wonder if we're going to see a Gul'dan here maybe coming in from CE, because they lack a little bit of wave clear right now.
Yeah, they need solo laner as well. So wave clear and solo laners would be good. Malthael, perhaps.
Leoric?
Could be a Leoric as well. That's a great choice. Didn't think of that about that. Ragnaros also. That's if you really want to go all in on the wave clear and also play a little bit safe.
Yeah, I agree.
Sticking with Leoric though, that is the most. That's what wording. Thanks, brain. That's what I argue would be the most normal option. So seeing Leoric come out here is not too surprising. And they have even more wombo potential. Slows from Leoric set up for Phoenix. Junkrat has good wombos if they go for the Entomb, so overall it works well.
Yeah, the cool thing about Leoric, we mentioned this multiple times already in the past, but the cool thing is, of course, you know, Blaze has a massive body, and that makes it really easy for Leoric to land those Drain Hopes. Big hitbox and all. So he's going to dominate that solo lane if nothing goes wrong, if he doesn't get ganked overly. So yeah, I like it. Also good wave clear with a cleave with the skeletal swing. Certainly helping out in that regard. And Junkrat, of course, we all know what Zhuyu can do in the Junkrat. It's easily one of his most favorite picks. And they go for Hanzo. I expected something special.
Nothing special this time. This is two very standard compositions. We got a Phoenix combo composition and then a much more sustainy, just to protect the backliners while they do all the damage composition. Using the bunker, using the potions, using Muradin's body. CE's composition has more synergy.
Yep.
But the sustain and the avoidance capabilities of KT could be an issue. But the Junkrat could be the game changer for that.
Junkrat could be a game changer if a Lufel pulls off a hope there. I never thought I would say these words, but if a Lufel pulls off a hope here and plays a marvelous Phoenix, then maybe they can strike back. I think up to this point, Hope is probably the best Phoenix I've ever seen in China. The amount of work he did last game single-handedly won those later game engagements, I feel. So let's see what a Lufel has to offer. In a world in which we consider a Lufel to be on par with other assassins, ranged assassins, maybe even subpar sometimes, according to what we've seen, is actually a scary one. And it speaks for the Chinese talent that becomes more and more refined.
Everyone appears to be catching up, and that's cool to see, as competition breeds improvement as we head in to game number 2 of our best of 3 RPG spray. If that was Timeless who did that, I will be amused. But it's KT on the left, with Hope on Jada, Timeless on Muradin, TWT on Deckard Cain, Hikari on Blaze, and Hape is what is bringing out the Hanzo.
Right, their opponents, man. The current China champions. It is Challenge with a Lufel on that Phoenix. Wind is playing Garrosh again, 365 on the Malfurion. KTY is playing Leoric, and Zhuyu once again on that ranged flex on that Junkrat. So, can they come back? Can they bounce back? It remains to be seen. A Lufel going for the exact same build, at least up to this point, that we saw from Hope. That mighty splash.
Mighty splash indeed. But very slow start. No one going in for any kind of engagement. Neither of the tanks seeming to want to go near each other at all yet, as we start to see the rotations.
By the way, Tetcher, I heard a rumor. I'm not sure if it's confirmed. Maybe you can help out. Nice dodge, by the way, from a Lufel. On the PTR right now, did Blizzard rename the Jimmy trait to Give Them Some Pepper?
Yes, it did. That was announced last night.
Oh, that was so cool. We did it, Reddit.
Yeah, we did it, Reddit. As we see the gems being collected by both teams. Timeless does a little bit of damage to Wind with the help of Hope there. Nothing special at the moment. Wind has a lot of armor. He's going to be able to sustain that pretty easily. Also, Ossium Renewal, the Auric builds, going for the more Korean style.
Random thought here. Well, not really much is going on the map here. If you could only have one of the two spices for the rest of your life to spice your food, would it be salt or pepper?
Salt. I don't like pepper.
Same.
Easy answer.
All right. I'm going to like pepper, though, with the new Jimmy. Looks very promising.
Yeah, I cannot wait to try the new Jimmy. I will probably attempt to do at least a little of that on Friday or something like that. But now, though, Timeless trying to hold the line for his team while they were busy doing bruiser camps. Hope needs to start dropping the blizzards. Already drops one. As Hape also comes down. Going to chuck in a couple scatter arrows to help try and burn down the bruiser camp.
All right, there goes a two-man root onto a Lufel.
Deadbolt's out just dodges the Hikari stun as well, but Lufel's fine. Only lost his shield.
Yeah, I was actually quite surprised to see how much damage C was able to tank there, but look at the Lufel. There we are, not done yet, and Hape does it again, man. Those assassins on the side of KT are on fire today.
Hape and Hope. I have no words. They're so good as they pick up yet another kill. Easy scatter arrow for the blow up as they continue the rotations. 25 gems turned in for the side of CE, whereas 30 in the bag 11 turned in for KT.
Alrighty then, guys. I think This is looking like a mighty good game already coming in from KT. I love the accuracy. I love the timing from Hope and Hape. I mean, we've said it multiple times now already, but they are looking clean, like an absolute master duo. Now, let's take a look at the gems here. They paid all of them successfully. KT, that is, 44 out of 50. Only 27 on the side of CE.
Oh, good Storm Bolt. Just CCing Alufal. Another couple scatter arrows are landed. Explosive arrow is level 4, by the way. This is a boss map, so that's a little bit weird for me, but it does certainly help with the wave clear.
All right. So let's see. Muradin getting bullied over and over again. Timeless in trouble. Doesn't have the Dwarf Tusk just yet, I believe.
The slows are good. It was interrupted, so
the tower's helping.
He does go down.
The tower was a little too much for Timeless to sustain through, so good pickup here. I mean, picks up against Timeless. They couldn't do that the entire first game, right? So them getting it right now must feel very, very comforting. And if CE finds the rhythm, I think they're still one of the deadliest teams in China. KTY now trying to get that pay in himself. 16 gems in the pockets of KT. CE needs to be very careful not to leave any openings now for the turn-in.
Yeah, both teams have enough for a turn-in. It's just finding that angle and that opening. Hope doesn't land the interrupt, and as such, KTY gets the turn-in, and Hope being forced to back up here as Zhuyu drops some damage. DWT pulling back, Hope still taking the damage, but they survive for the moment as the first turn-in goes over to CE.
First turn-in is going over. Let's see if they can snowball with this one. The KT does have a pretty okay wave clear, so I don't think that's going to be super much of an issue. I also like how Hanzo went for the explosive arrow there at level 4. I think that usually adds you more value on a map like Tuma's Brighter Queen, where there's only so many walls you can bounce your arrows from. You see all these wide open spaces right in the middle. The explosive shot is always going to get the value. The full scatter arrow build is very much dependent on how many walls, how many straight walls you have there.
It looks like we are going to have a very quick pause as we head in. The Web Weavers have already started getting some good damage onto these preliminary structures. Would not be surprised to see. And we're definitely going to see towers go down. It's just whether they will be able to get to a fort at some point in the game.
Yep.
CE, though, have just been a little bit more passive, a little bit more controlled here. Malfurion roots have really been the issue so far, due to that being the only kill source that CE have achieved so far.
All right. Looks like KTY had a short disconnect. Nothing we couldn't fix, though, especially in a pretty studio, in a pretty offline environment like we have in China. So not really much has happened. I mean, the web viewers are currently pushing, right? We saw KT defend up to this point, and they should be fine. They have enough gems themselves, so always important to basically not get caught so you don't lose the gems. You can turn in after this one.
So yeah, it's still pretty close games. Sorry, my brain's just shut down there for a second.
It's been a long day, man. I feel you. And you must actually feel way more exhausted than me. Like, I already feel like my body has aged 5 years from now.
Not even halfway done. But yeah, the game is still relatively close. The fact is, CE, even with that kill they were able to achieve early, just a couple seconds ago, was good for the fact that they were able to get the Web Weaver turn-ins, but this is still very defendable due to the composition that KT has with the Hanzo, with the Explosive Arrow, and the Jaina. Explosive Arrow, by the way, I'm starting to dig it a little bit more for this wave clear style, due to the fact that they're not having to rely on putting Hanzo in a rough position when against a Garrosh or a Leoric, where Leoric could in theory entomb him against a wall, force him to use his escape. So the wave clear is pretty decent, add Blaze into that as well. So they should be able to clear this pretty well, and that's a question of CE not overextending.
Yeah, absolutely true. So let's talk a little bit about European Open Division while we have time, and we're waiting for KTY to come back. So which teams actually made it to the next round, and which teams can we look forward to seeing today in the European Open Division?
So it's very interesting, the fact, like, you played in Heroes Lounge for a little bit, right, didn't you?
I did.
So the fun factor is that in the semifinals, there are 2 teams with like ex-HGC Open Division veterans, and in one case, ex-HGC veterans, and there are 2 teams who are from Heroes Lounge. So our first semifinal is the champion of Heroes Lounge Season 6, SFD Gaming.
Cool.
Versus Skog Support. Skog Support is a team that
Do they have Skog in the game? Like Skog in the team?
They do have Skoch, Max Passion, Sexy Platypus, Skoch, I Hot Wone, and Starzerg for Skoch support versus SFD Gaming, which is Solid Butter, Death Knight, Enabler, Quipsy, and Meneldor.
I remember some of those names.
And on the other side is EPG Frozen, which consists of Drifter, Chelvin, Zray, Butch, and Copenhagen, spelled with a Q.
I've never heard of these guys.
Yeah, they are open division people. You might have heard of this team, the Watermeloons.
The Watermeloons?
The Watermeloons. They consist of Lauber, Roskmeg, Cass, Sonic the Beast, and Grandpa Keta.
How in the world are you supposed to beat that team?
Exactly. Okay, here's an example. They played in the bracket stage a little bit.
Have they dropped a single map?
The bracket stage yesterday, not yet, but they played against best positioning, which is some of the members from worst positioning, like Nunia, for example, who made it all the way to the Crucible. Ratgod, for example, Clausen, all these good Fazilico, all these good players, and they wiped them in minutes. It was crazy, but we are back in the game.
All right, from Watermeloons to Spreaderqueen and Chinese. I don't know. I can't think of any Chinese fruit that comes to my mind right now. Maybe.
Nice. I don't know anything about Chinese culture.
Whoa. No, I'm more specialized in Japanese culture. I know more about Japan, but unfortunately Japan.
I really know nothing.
Japan doesn't play video games on the PC. They're only into mobile games and consoles, unfortunately.
But you met their heroes. You met people in the heroes community.
That is true.
I will have to tune into your stream and get that as a full story on your stream at some point, as we see Wind zoning away from the turning point at the moment. KTY eats an arrow. Scatter arrows consistently harassing as well and gaining the stacks. I think he might be fully stacked at this point, actually, but Zhuyu eats a lot of damage. But this is how Timeless died last time, so he has to be careful.
Yeah, needs to be very careful. Looks like the web viewers have already been dealt with very handsomely by KT. They didn't even lose a single fort, which is amazing for them. They're also still doing mighty fine in terms of experience. Can they get their own turn now? 43 in the bank. They definitely want to turn those in at some point. Hey, by the way, on that Hanzo, looking a little low here. He's going to have to pick up all those potions.
Nice and easy. Oh, quick wave clear. Hooray for Jaina. The wonders of a mage sometimes in this game, which you just get very rarely these days, except for the Jaina and sometimes the Gul'dan or Chromie.
Yep, Hikari trapping KTY here. He lands that Drain Hope like it was the easiest thing in the world to do. And against Blaze, admittedly, it's quite easy. Look at Timeless jumping in, pressuring Alufal even more. Basically trying to buy enough time for the turn in.
Alufal eating so many arrows, but this time, no, denied.
No
again.
way.
Junkrat, this consistent, finally Timeless, realizes that it's his job to deal with the Leoric, and everyone else deals with the Junkrat temporarily as they are finally able to get a turn in, which is responded to with an Entomb. Timeless able to escape, though, Hikari being targeted as Hanzo was already taken out.
All right, so that was a good pickup, no doubt, right? That was actually a golden Entomb on two people that were actually needed to be in there. On the flip side, though, a lot of damage was taken on the side of CE as well, so they're going to have to go back and heal right now. The web viewers are already on the way, and Hanzo still has the Dragon's Arrow, so he could actually rejoin his team, aid them a little bit with a Global Arrow. It's coming in right now. Look at the minimap.
Oh, hey, just one. Didn't get much done. 365 just dropping some heals. KTY just able to escape over the wall. Oh, careful now. Dodges the purple wave. That might have actually killed him. But Malfurion dropping the heals on him will keep him sustained up. As Entomb is back off cooldown.
And Hape has arrived right now with his body as well. So let's see what they can do. Getting two towers in the middle, closing the gap slowly but surely. The Jet Propulsion just barely not hitting KTY. That would have been a good stun for Murden to follow up on. You get another two towers in the bottom, and KT is now dead even with their opponent CE.
They've managed to keep it. They're a little bit behind in XP, but there will be minions to gather to change this fact. Meantime, though, both teams have very nearly enough for enough. They very nearly have enough for returning. CE already have it, and KT were one gem away. They just picked up two, so they are now also ready for a turn-in. Now we get back to both teams posturing around the turning point, waiting for the other to stop harassing them.
The question is, who's got most of the gems on the side of KT? It's actually Jaina.
That's a squishy target.
Yeah, you better want to pay them.
Like
Sorry, go ahead.
365, KTY, and Zhuyu all just got their turn in.
Yeah.
Sorry, and Alufal all just got their turn in. So now they are completely freed up to zone because bot was just kind of ignored.
Here he goes.
Getting turn in. That's going to be the second one for CE. Forts are open. Bot is, in fact, even a little bit wounded. So this is going to give them the chance to try and finally give themselves a significant lead over KT as opposed to this small XP lead.
Yeah, here we go. The second push for CE, the third push in the entire map, in the entire game up to this point. Hope needs to be especially careful, man. 31 gems is no slouch. It's a quite significant number. And Jaina is not the tankiest of targets. And due to the fact that she was actually spending most time all by herself, the root's just barely missing here, by the way, but Dragon's Arrow was used. The fact that she was solo laning for the most part means that she probably couldn't even stack up her Ice Block quest, right? So I'm pretty sure she doesn't have it up to this point.
Doesn't that just stack off frostbitten damage? Does it have to be heroic damage?
Yes. It has to be in the heroes.
Huh. You can tell how often I played Jaina.
I played her a little bit in the most recent past, and I normally don't enjoy it. Don't ask me why. Alliance fan by heart, you know, but Jaina, it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, damage through chilled heroes. Fair enough. So, yeah, I expect you're probably right. She might be struggling as taunt onto Muradin. Twilight Ring Riptire. Okay then. I bet Timeless feels loved, as Hikari is going to get focused as well, but he popped Pyromania and will survive.
That was the quickest Muradin explosion I have ever seen. Luckily for Team KT, nothing really happened, right? They can't lose a keep now. CE also used a lot of resources, so I think by the time Timeless comes back, he's going to turn on full aggression, right? With Avatar, Dragon's Arrow, Stay a While and Listen. They have a couple of tools available, whereas CE is now pretty much dried out.
That's true, but they need to start making those plays. They need to actually get onto the map due to CE keeping everything very pushed up, making the best use out of all of their wave clear, which is very effective. They also have exactly enough again. Nicely done, Wind. Another turn, and Dragon Arrow's even dodged. Taunt is good. Here comes the salvo, but Bunker denies a lot of that damage. Hope almost gets chunked. Once again, Arsenal synergy value coming in from Alufal.
So much damage, and if that wasn't bad enough, they are now going to have yet another wave of web weavers. And slowly but surely, Tetra, these buildings ain't looking healthy anymore. You know, in the middle lane, we have only 2 towers left standing. I think the bottom lane was completely destroyed. Only the Naked Keep. Yeah. Top lane still has the 4th, though. That's looking okay.
3 out of 4 turn-ins have been in favor of CE, looking very strong this game. They finally have over a 2-level lead on KT here, and they're gonna maybe get 4, but nice quick kill by KT. That's gonna give them so much clearing potential because they have so much less pressure on them.
Yeah, that was exactly what they needed. And I love the rotation as well now, trying to keep the bottom safe and sound. And if CE doesn't pay attention here, okay, never mind. They see the Jaina in the top lane, so they realize it's only a weakened team here by KT. But I was going to say, if they don't pay attention here, that might be a quick turnaround. And Jaina tried the best she could to keep this top lane safe and sound. But you can already see the one remaining Web Weaver is going to kill itself. There we go. And now it is time for KT's Hope to basically empty his pockets. He's got 44 gems.
That's the plan, but Wind is looking to prevent this, and he's got reinforcements. He's running also very far up. There's see zoning triangles. Alufal getting zoned. Can they zone Wind? In fact, they're not even sending in Hope yet. It's Timeless trying to turn in his 3 gems. Here comes the Entomb on just Hope. The worst target. This could be terrible. The Sleep buys Hope some time. He's able to pull backwards as they put great damage onto the Yorick, forcing him to Wraith walk out.
Timeless just casually turning in the 3 gems.
Dodge lands. Oh, it's a free. The stomp. He's just getting delivered, but the taunt is good. Way. Timeless taken out. Luckily, he only had 3 gems.
Yeah, he didn't have any actually because he paid. He made sure to pay them. All right, Jaina paid at least, so that's a huge amount left. But they lost 2 members. Blaze also carried a bunch of them, but so close on that one. Ape is not going to make it out. Not sure why the Ice Block was there, probably for good measure, but...
Oh, hi, Hope! That's not good. I would quite like to see if he lived, please.
Not now.
Production team. Cool. Yes, Jaina lived.
And Junkrat lives too. Okay.
Nice.
So no kills.
Well, boss being taken by CE. Nice moves here, putting on quite the performance this game. Looking to bring a 5-way tie for that first place at this point.
Oh man, can they do it though? Look at Wind, he's fairly beaten. Alufo barely having any shields there, and their boss clearing speed right now is not the highest. Timeless is already scouting and sniffing.
He has Avatar. He does not have Avatar. I can't count. Dragon Arrow does not land, but Muradin's in. He's committed. Double stun. He's holding the line. Jaina gets chunked by the Twilight Dream. CE got the boss, but Wind is super low here. He might die for this. With Junkrat already dead, this could be KT's fight to win. Here comes the salvo immediately. Jaina in the bunker. The majority of that value here. They were able to get Wind 2 for 0, but they should really deal with that boss.
That's I was going to say a kingdom for a haymaker there for Muradin, right? That would have been glorious to kick the Garrosh off the platform. But as it is, the boss goes over to CE, but at what cost? They lost 2 members. Garrosh has a little bit of a longer death timer. Zuyu gave his life very early on. Probably for a good cause, though, because the boss is keeping them distracted. But 9 gems, that is just barely enough. You can see the gem icon glowing there. That means enough gems are in their possession, and they're going to get it.
Finally getting their turn in. They even start the Bruiser camp just to make sure this is going to be their best possible pushing opportunity, because they have to start getting some forts. They have to catch up in XP, or this is going to be a nightmare, and likely a CE victory.
This could be one of those moments, Tetcher, I think, in which KT is like, okay, let's go all in or nothing. If we get a kill here, we might actually snowball and win the game of this. But on the flip side, they shouldn't really, you know, risk everything. Go for an aggressive play here, maybe try to get a kill, but don't really... I don't know, man. Is it too early? It might be too early. I don't think the web viewers are strong enough for a core call yet.
They're not close enough to 20 to try and make a play with that timing. Jaina's clearing top. Leoric is trying to counter clear bot lane, clear the web weaver. That's sneaky. But looks like they are going to try and just mass push mid.
Yeah, I think that's a fair call. I mean, I can't believe all 3 forts are still standing for CE, by the way. I thought that KT actually... Oh, another whiffed arrow.
It's unfortunate. It was close. It was well set up, but just unlucky that everyone was not in the way, basically.
Look at Leoric, by the way. Single-handedly demolished the bottom web weaver.
They're a good hero. So they're just grabbing forts. Looks like they're going to just try and just grab as much XP here and race to 20. I like that. I like that as a strategy. It's a safe, slow play, because they're never going to get a keep here. But they might get enough XP to catch up. And I think that's the priority right now.
I actually
close.
I actually thought that KT was in a much more dire situation, but then I looked at the XP and how much they could get out of those forts, and that was close. Okay, that was clutch on both the Phoenix and the Junkrat, escaping last minute. But yeah, I think I saw it a little bit too dramatically. But yeah, half a level behind, maybe one entire level behind for KT. That's definitely, you know, small enough to get back into the game, to equalize the score in the 20s. And even if you lose a keep here on this map, right, on Tomb of the Spider Queen, you can easily come back because of the size of the map. Nice to smell.
By Juyu, scouting out that bush. If he'd eaten that Stormbolt, there's a chance he would have died. Due to the amount of damage Timeless has stacked up on that at this point. Oh, teleport, Dragon Arrow not landing again. Been so unlucky with these, but the slows are really good. See ya, Phoenix. And that is such a clutch kill. Just do not get flipped over the gate. You have one job. Oh, that's exactly the job you should not have. As we see Decken get in the bunker, though, and will survive. But down goes the Entomb, and everyone back in the bunker. Everyone out the bunker. With the roots landed down, so much damage being dropped at the sleep will guarantee the kill on Leoric.
Wow, for a moment I thought this was a mighty good Entomb, but what are you going to do when Phoenix is no longer in the fight, right? Junkrat alone can't carry all the damage that your team needs, and now with 2 members dead, at least some of the gems were salvaged, but no longer does CE have enough gems for a full turn-in. I think the map is pretty much open. Boss is not available. I don't know what the timer on it is right now.
Assume about a minute and a half.
Yeah, I think so too.
I am thinking correctly. I'm like,
that was level 20.
I am.
And the game is dead.
Yeah, they got it. Bullseye, the Astral Communion, the upgraded Avatar, committing to that. Upgraded Bunker, all in on the protection. Upgraded Sleep for the Silence.
So what's kind of cool about the upgraded avatar, we don't really see that one too often, is the fact that Muradin is now a little more resilient to enemy CC effects, right? The roots, the stuns, the tosses, the taunts. It actually makes him super scary.
This is true. This is true, and that's going to help against all of this CC. He dives deep. He's looking for Zhuyu. Does not land it. He popped Avatar. Ooh, that's less than ideal. Yeah. But they found Leoric. They might be able to get him. At least Dragonor interrupts Garrosh from coming in to help, but they were able to kill off KTY. Nice move.
Yeah, and you know, Timeless is not done just yet. He's relentless. He's really trying to make those kills happen. Whee! But a beautiful concussion mine now causing KT's efforts to be a little bit of a time waste here. No Leoric. He's still in ghost form though. He can scout out, he can provide vision, and he can slow people. Now, enough gems ready. The boss is there as well, Tetra. How greedy does KT want to play this?
That's a good question. They have exactly enough for a turn-in, like you said. It looks like they're just going to try the turn-in, but Timeless is interrupted. So here's the question. If they keep trying for this turn-in, they'll either get the turn-in, or they will force CE to go over-aggressive. Riptire is used the bunker. That's a mistake. The bunker not getting the value, and two members just eating the damage. But
yeah, they're going to go back
down
for...
now, but so is bunker.
Yeah, they're going to back real quick here so they can use the healing fountains to replenish their health pools. Teleporting back all the way? You don't need to do that. That's causing you
unnecessary
to waste a couple of moments. Like 1 or 2 potions by TWT, and Jaina, for example, would have been back to full health now. Top lane, bottom lane pushed far in, but no KT heroes to support the push.
I'm very concerned about this buried alive from Leoric. This could be the game-ending heroic coming in here. We've seen it so many times before. Just need to keep an eye on Leoric, see which directions he comes from. Looks like KT moving in with the Web Weaver. The first keep of the game is on their mind.
Absolutely. Here goes an early Blizzard. Of course, Icy Veins is available. If Hope needs those ability cooldowns, he's going to get them easily with just 1 key. So here goes Muradin. He's going in. He's relentless. He doesn't take the CC as Melting anymore, and he's tanking a lot of damage, Tetcher.
The Buried Alive was right on Hope, but Muradin literally distracted all other members, and they kill off Leoric, moving from great start on the Luful. Indomitable Spirit, not enough to finish him off.
Did
and
KT
now
do it?
Timeless has been pumped into the keep range, but he's tanking through it like a dwarf. But the Riptire might be enough. Timeless dropping low from the Riptire, but he survives. Top keep went down to the Web Weavers. Mid keep goes down to the KT.
I can't believe how much of a savage Timeless is here, by the way. They don't have enough to finish right now. Leoric will be back in 20 seconds. And of course, the health bars weren't looking so healthy anymore for KT. Do they have enough courage? Do they have enough bravery to even consider starting a boss here? 30 seconds until Phoenix respawns. I think they can do it if only they're determined enough, but they focus on Garrosh instead.
That makes sense, because there's turn-ins available for CE. They need to force CE back away from this area, because they don't have nearly enough for turn-in. If they turn in, if they get a boss, CE turns in. It's as simple as that. Zhuyu is, in fact, just going for it. Looks like they're willing to make that trade, or at least try and bait that trade.
All right, so they're willing to trade the Web Weavers for the boss. Hanzo needs to land those scatter shots. Very important. All the lanes are pushed in for CE. The catapults are helping defend against the Web Weaver as well. And I think the boss could be the tool they need to seal the deal. No CE member is even close to interrupted. Zhuyu is just scouting for good measure. Are they really doing the boss? Yes, they are. We need to prepare our defenses, lads. In the top lane, this is our final hold. We need to keep KT out of our base.
Timeless X looking for win against HGC China champion. They pull in. Junkrat finished the level 4. I've never seen that. As Timeless leaps forward, the Junkrat damage is going to do so much, though. As we see the Buried Alive once again onto Dekake, but KTY gets taken out, which allows him to move forward. The Riptire gets killed off without dropping the damage. Zhuyu survives. In the meantime, the boss is on the core, taking down the shield. Wind is tagging through. Luful is getting focused, dodges the sleep, barely around the outside, but gets taken out anyway. Now it's up to Zhuyu to deal enough damage to keep his team in this game, but Timeless is full. They're completely taking down the core, Kendrick.
And I think they're doing it. KT with a major upset, taking down CE 2-0 with an absolutely crazy performance. Look at them cheer in the bottom right. Look at those emotions, and I'm loving it. Timeless, the happiest I've ever seen him. Ever since he joined KT, he seems like a different man, and they can definitely be proud of themselves. They take down the actual China champions of CE. The current lords of China are dethroned. I almost said peasants of KT, but they're